Hello, 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 hello. It's been a while since I've been on Periscope, but hello to the Periscope land. How are you? I am. Hi there, how are you? Good to see you there. It's a boo Celeste. Hey Celeste, how are you? Hey Slick Slim, how are you? Good to see you guys. Thanks so much for joining my scope. I'm Linda Hembry. I am the owner of Destiny Development Business Solutions. I am the grant lady, better known as the grant lady, the nonprofit lady. So what I do is I help you to launch or grow your nonprofit in half the time. Hey there, hey there. What's been going on in your neck of the woods, Celeste? How is that project going? Hopefully all is well. I'm so happy to see you. I haven't been on here. I've been deep, deep, deep in grant writing season. So I've been writing grants. So I haven't. When you don't see me, I'm typing away. I shouldn't say writing, but typing away. So I just submitted a grant. What was that? 2 weeks ago. Oh, good. Good to know that. Good to know that. Yeah. So how much was that one for? That one was $50,000. So I'm praying that they get it. So I'm excited. I'm excited for them, and I think they will. I think it was a well-written grant. Plus, I hired an editor to edit the grant as well. So today, what am I talking about today? I look at my own title: question and answers, funding question and answers, and then I put in the subtitle. Can for-profits get grants? So some people are constantly asking me, can for-profits get grants? But so if you all are out there and you're wondering that, invite your friends, and you know somebody who's asked you that, or they come to you. I'm still looking for a grant for our pantry. Okay. Well, you haven't hit me up. You got to hit me up. I have all the resources. I just gave you one of the resources. That was the free one I was offering that day. But yeah, invite your followers, you guys. Invite your followers, because I know there's somebody out there who wants to know if for-profits can get grants. Nonprofits are the agencies typically that get grant funds. Thank you for inviting your followers, Celeste. And so the answer to the question is yes and no. Yes and no. I've been on both sides of this grant writing and recipient process. For those of you who don't know me, I have been at this for 27 years. I have either ran nonprofits, managed nonprofit programs, written grants, managed grants, or all of the above. So lots and lots of experience in various different ways of managing homeless programs, managing children and youth programs, managing workforce development programs, managing veterans programs, managing what else? Savings programs, financial literacy programs, economic development programs. Anything you can think of, pretty much. Yes, I've done it. So anyway, can a for-profit get funding for their business? Okay, let me give you a story. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks for joining, Ben, guys. Thanks for the hearts. Yes, yes. I like the tapping of the screen. I like those hearts. If you have an Android, and you want to invite your followers, you swipe up, and if you have a iPhone, it's left to right. I think that's right. I only have an iPhone, so yeah. But anyway, so for-profits getting grants. For-profits typically, of course, because your profit as a for-profit business, your profit. No, I don't speak Turkish. Your profit goes into whatever you want it to go into. So in other words, when you get a profit in your business, you can spend it any way you want to. You can take your entire staff to, the Orient. You can go and buy a piece of equipment. You can do whatever you want with it. But a nonprofit is not a nonprofit because they don't make a profit. A nonprofit is a organization, a business that takes all of the profit that they get and they put it back into the mission of the organization. That's what separates a nonprofit from a for-profit business. Okay? So, this is the reason why if you go to the government, hey, thanks for joining, Marco. If you go to the government and you say, I am a for-profit agency and I want to get some money to start my business or to get some equipment or to expand my business, in most cases, the answer is going to be no, because of the nature of your business is that you are the leader of the business. You're the one that is going to be is at the helm of getting the funding for your business. Whereas a nonprofit is helping the community. They're helping to solve an economic or a social problem. So the federal government says, "Oh, well, you want to help people? Great. Well, we're gonna create a bucket of money just for you to help people who are homeless, because we don't want homeless people. We don't want people without a home. We don't want people laying all over the streets. We don't want people dying, etc." So in most cases, the answer is no. A for-profit business cannot get a grant to start their business or to grow their business or to, when they get in trouble. The type of money that's available for a for-profit business is, there is some government funds that are available for-profit businesses, and it's called the Small Business Administration. But it's not money that doesn't have to be paid back. Hey, Peter, how are you? It's not money that doesn't have to be paid back. So they have low interest loans for profit businesses that the Small Business Administration, or the SBA, issues to help for-profit businesses start a business. But when it comes to a grant, money that doesn't have to be repaid, they're few and far in between. There are times, I thank you guys for those 2 hearts that came up. Thanks so much. So there are agencies that will give grants to for-profit businesses. Thanks for the hearts. For-profit businesses. And those are normally given to large conglomerate businesses like Merck, that does, something with, drug research or something like that. So the Federal Drug Administration may say that they want to find out how the brain responds to a certain type of medication. And then they'll need some real live humans to test this out on. They'll need an agency that has the capacity to be able to do a 5-year study. So they'll go to a large, multi-million-dollar established for-profit business to give them the money to do a particular type of research. So those kinds of businesses will get grants from the government. And usually it's the government going to them and saying, we want to study how the brain responds to, this particular chemical or this particular drug. And so we need your help. But in most cases, it's not going to be just a free-for-all for anyone. And then there are another type of grants that for-profit businesses can get. I worked for an agency that allowed for-profits to get grants through what's called a community development block grant. But the nonprofit got the funds, and then we issued an RFP, a request for proposals, for-profit businesses to do the work that needed to be done in the community. So what the RFP did was we had to go through a competitive process to find a for-profit contractor that would do the work. But they didn't just get the money. This was like $250,000 of a $1.8 million grant. They didn't just get the money and give it to the for-profit business. What they did was the for-profit business that won the contract went out and did the work, and we would reimburse them for the work that they already did. So those are 2 types of grants that the government issues that a for-profit business can benefit from. Then there's another question that comes up. Individuals. Can an individual get a grant? Let me go back for a minute. One other kind of for-profit business that, because I just saw one yesterday. There was an agency, I think they were in Michigan, and they were doing, oh gosh, what kind of grant was that? I don't know exactly what kind of grant it was, but I remember that it was serving the disabled or somebody like that. So let's say that you have a property, a house, and you want to house disabled people or homeless people. You can be a for-profit entity that has a house and you benefit from that government money because you are now housing the disabled or housing the homeless. So your building is the getting funding for, you're getting funding to be able to house the homeless. So in some cases there are, they'll give you, like I knew one lady that she helped military people that were coming into the city. She would give them a room to stay. And the government was giving her like $3,000 for every person that she put in her house. So those are out there. And so anyway, the other kind is for an individual. Sometimes people ask, do individuals get grants? Yes, they do, usually in scholarship, in the form of a scholarship. There are some scholarships that are out there that are issued by foundations that help people go to school, that help people do research, that help people who want to do missions and those kinds of things. So those are the three different types of grants that I've seen for nonprofit agencies or for-profits and individuals. But they're very hard to find, and they're not the type of grants that I write. I don't write grants for individuals. I don't write grants for for-profits. I don't write grants for agencies that are doing research or anything like that. The type of grants that I write are for nonprofit agencies. So if you guys are curious about getting a grant, or you want to know if you're ready to get a grant, you can go to my website, which should be in my bio. If you hit my bio, there's a link that's going to lead to, I think that leads to my registration page for my webinars, but it has my website address on there, and I have a free grant readiness checklist so that you can see if you're eligible to get a grant. It's got about 15 questions on there that you need to ask yourself, and on each one of the questions next to it, it's going to show if you don't have that particular, if you can't check yes to that, how you can go about making sure that you are grant ready. So that's what I wanted to come on and talk to you guys about today. And for those of you on the replay, you can do the same. Go and download the free grant readiness checklist under my on my website under, I think it's under holiday specials, and then it'll take you directly to that page that has all of my products and services there. And you can also give hearts if you like the information that I shared with you on today. Is that Oliver? Hi, Oliver. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions, go ahead and type in your questions, because this was a Q&A, and I also answered the question, can for-profits get grants? So if you didn't hear that, you can go back and listen to the replay, but please do type in your question and let me know what your questions are about getting grant funding for your nonprofit. And if you have a for-profit business, how to get your for-profit business funded. So yeah. So type away. I'm going to wait a few minutes to hear what you have to say. And if you're on the replay and you're hearing me say this, you can email me at admin@destinyBizdev.com. That's admin@destinyBizdev.com. You can just send me your question and I'll respond to your question. So yeah, so any questions for anybody? As I sign off, I just finished doing my webinar. So since I was finishing up this is the webinar that I do usually every Tuesday or Thursday. It's Learn How I Won 10 million in grant money. So for nonprofits just like yours. So that's my that is my webinar. Let me turn it. I'm going to flip the screen. This is the webinar that I normally do every Thursday. So if you want to sign up for that, that webinar is free, and it is in my bio. If you hit the link to my bio, it's going to take you right to the registration page for that. Okay, so I'm actually, if you don't have any questions, Oliver, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to wait a few minutes to see if you have any questions. Let's see. What do you teach, Oliver? I don't know if you can type. You might be at work. If you can type, what do you teach? Because it says learn with Oliver. Okay. All right. Well, maybe. Okay. You teach languages. Oh, so maybe. So are you the one that came in from Turkey? Are you Turkish? Yeah, I only speak English and I speak a little bit of Spanish, but just enough to be dangerous. German. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. So if you don't have any questions, then I'm going to sign off and I thank you so much for joining my webinar. Did you have any additional questions? You can get a grant to teach your language. Okay, thanks so much for joining my scope and have an awesome, awesome day.